Hi, welcome to my first ever Paphiopedilum update. I don't think I've ever done one. Yeah, I mostly concentrate on Fragmipediums, but I thought I'd show you what I have growing. So these are my Asian lady slippers. Okay, so let's start off on the right. This first one here is something that I got from a Canadian vendor, but I guess it was sold initially from OrchidInn at one point. This is Fumi's Delight times Dillanatii, and yeah, the plant's been growing fairly well. It's grown like 2 leaves this year, so it's growing well, and these newer leaves are bigger than last year's leaves. I've had it for a while, so I was hoping it was going to bloom this year, but the base of the plant is pretty thin, so I don't think it's going to happen. But anyways, the plant is doing well. I'm happy. I don't know what's happening with the roots because it's not in a transparent pot. I haven't been brave enough to repot it yet, but I guess I should repot that pretty soon. The next one is another one which I think that came from OrchidInn but was sold by a Canadian vendor. This is Paphio hirsutissimum, and this plant didn't do very much for the longest time. It just looked like a plastic plant. But this year it's been growing some new growths at the base. And let's see. This is a new growth here. And there is a bit of spotting on the plant, but I think it's doing okay simply because it's growing some new leaves finally. And if you look in the pot, there are some nice, beautiful roots somewhere. Oh, there they are. So I think this plant is well established. So the advantage of these clear pots is that you can see what's actually going on. Even if the leaves are growing slowly, at least you have an indication that the plant is actually doing something. In the back is one that bloomed for me previously, but I bought this in bud in the last fall. This is a sequential bloomer, but due to the transition, only one flower survived, but it lasted like 2 months. A beautiful yellow flower. This is Paph Primulum times Kamikane Paradise, and I really like this plant. This new growth here grew right after the spike was finished, and it grows really, really fast, and it grows in bright light. I just recently repotted this guy, so we're probably not going to see much in the way of roots. There were plenty of roots, it's just that there won't be any active tips appearing through, so yeah. I had bought a Chamberlainum times Mocketianum, I think, with it, and that one died. Moving along, this is my most proliferous Paphio. This is a spicerianum, and yeah, so it's got 3 nice growths for this year. I think it's going to bloom from the largest growth here. It's very hard to show, but in there, as you can see, there's something dark, and I think that's the start of a sheath. This one has a leaf in it, I think. I examined them pretty well, and so it's probably going to bloom on 1 growth this year, as it did last year. So I've had it for maybe 3 years. And the first year I bought it, it had 2 spikes. So it's doing really well. It's potted in moss and orchiada. Seems to be doing okay. This is my rescue pot. It's a bunch of plants that maybe did well, never did well. Anyways, I just repotted the whole lot of them. There's actually 3 plants in here. the one with the beautiful leaves is Paphio Venustum alba. And this actually did flower for me, but then after the new growths came out, the plant didn't do very much. And it didn't do much because there weren't any roots, but somehow the leaves continued to look nice. But as you can see, there are some roots now. So they seem to like this mini lava rock. And on the other side of it is let's see if I can show you the tags. There's actually two clones of Paph barbigerum. So that's the first one. And the second one is this. So, yeah, so, and it's the same story for those. They didn't do very much when they first arrived here. And, but now there are roots, as you could see. And they seem to like this lava rock, this mini lava rock. And I know that because there are roots, and for the very first time, we have a leaf here, and this is a new leaf. So in the year that it was here, it had done absolutely nothing. So I'm pretty thrilled with that. So that's kind of a success story. Here's another species. This is gratixianum, and yeah. So I bought this from a local grower, and it really hasn't done much. So this is another one, even though it's been freshly repotted in Orchiada, I'm just going to I might try the lava rock on it. This guy is another one that's been very troublesome. This is Liberty Taiwan, and I don't understand why it's been so difficult. It would grow a leaf, then drop a leaf, grow a leaf, drop a leaf. And as you could see, these leaves are even short for this plant, so it's not really been all that happy living here. And again, this one, I repotted it. It didn't have a lot of roots, but since I put it in this mini lava rock, it seems happy. Yeah, it seems happier. So it's growing another leaf here, so something's happening. So I'm hoping that this leaf is long enough, longer than these two, whatever, and that it eventually blooms, because I've had this plant for a very long time. So this is the OrchidInn order here. In the back, this is my Paphio Hinaldianum, which I bought in bud in the spring, and I was very pleased with these flowers. They're really, really amazing, and the plant is very vigorous. Even with flowers, a new leaf came out. It's about maybe 6 inches long now, so it's doing super well. I didn't repot it, but it's potted in this medium orchiada type park, and so I won't repot it this year because it's doing okay. I love the leaf patterning on this one. This is Paphio Hinensis, and it was about blooming size, but I don't know if it's going to bloom this year. The base is very thin, and I didn't bother repotting it. But it has two nice growths, and this leaf's been growing since it's been here, so I'm just going to keep it as is for now. I had a third plant in the order, which was a Dillanatii, and that just recently died of crown rot. So, And the last Paphio in the collection, which I almost forgot, is this Paphio hermanni, which I've had for a number of years. It took 2 years for it to bloom for me 2 years ago, so that means I've had this plant for about 4 years. And again this year, it's like it did last time, it's blooming on 2 spikes. So unfortunately, the buds aren't open completely. So yeah, and I really do like these flowers. They're very long lasting, and they do very well for me. So the flowers are kind of pink with some yellow. Anyways, maybe I'll include a picture in the video afterwards to show you what they look like. But the plant itself doesn't require too much light, and I haven't repotted it in a good long while, but as you could see, it has a very extensive root system. So yeah. So maybe next spring I will attempt to repot this guy. But so far this is my only one in spike. So I'm including in this video a recent haul because it includes one Paphio. And the first one is Paphio Dolls Cobalt. And so keeping with the theme of lady slippers. This is kind of a replacement plant. The flowers are not unlike the hermanni, but they're like they're kind of a light pink. This plant has two growths. I do believe that if it does bloom, it'll be next summer because that's when mine bloomed, the one that I had many years ago. And the other plant that I acquired is not a Paphio. This is a Paphiopedilum Don Limber. And I'm only including it because it's part of the Clouds haul. And I'm always interested when I can buy a blooming size Paphiopedilum. So it has two strong growths. And again, I'm not expecting these to bloom anytime soon because the bases aren't terribly fat. And there is no spike at the moment. So that's my Paphio. My Paphio, mostly Paphio update. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope your plants are doing well. And thank you for watching.